God has plans to prosper you, give you hope and a future too. So let me remind you of what you have the power to do.
You've been on a journey, trying to find your way. Like the sun, you're rising, 'cause today's your day to unlock every gift inside. Let your potential flow. Don't let anybody kill your vibe. Time to bust up and show. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Act like you know you can win. Live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra. They said you'd never make it, but you're still here. Kept on pushing through all your doubts and fears. Never let a hater see you sweat. Remember who you are. When they go low, let them reap what they sow while you go far. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Baby, shine like a star. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. If you got haters, they gon' hate. Keep your head up and just be great. It's your season, your winning season with Cassandra. Rise up, time to get on your grind. Go after your dreams, no time to fall behind. Push till the end and never give in. It's your winning season, get ready to win. Keep moving forward and never look back. It's time to get motivated with Cassandra Mack. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra Mack. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra Mack.
Welcome to the Cassandra Mack channel, a channel dedicated to providing biblical wisdom and upliftment to those who want to be part of this community. So you know this up front, comments that are divisive, disrespectful, or deliberately contrary to the teaching shared here will be deleted and the person will be blocked. Understand that I post as I'm led by the Lord. I do not post for anyone's approval or validation. Therefore, I will not be swayed by those who come in bad faith to troll or who come with a disruptive agenda. If you find that this channel doesn't align with you, that's perfectly okay. If you are offended by my rules, my directness, or my delivery, that's okay also. I encourage you to find the YouTube channel that's a better fit, since obviously we're not it. And if you choose to unsubscribe, no need to announce your departure. We are not the airlines. At any time, you can simply choose not to get on board. To everyone else, thank you for being here. Let's continue to grow together. God bless you. Have you ever had someone on your job, someone living in your neighborhood, someone who's part of the same friend group, even somebody who is a distant relative, but they're not really close to you, always wanting to be in your business? They seem to be a little too interested in your life to the point where you're like, dang, you are nosy. And they're constantly asking people questions about your private life, not just out of general interest, wanting to make sure you're good. Hey, is everything okay with Jane Doe? No, but they are exceedingly intrusive, and then they want to take that information and weaponize it against you. They ask questions that feel not just intrusive, but completely unnecessary. Like, why do you want to know that about me? I am not that interested to know all of that about you. They want updates that they don't need, updates about your life that they don't need, who you dating, what you're doing. They try to stay connected even after you have created distance for your own well-being. So this can even be an ex, somebody who you used to be friends with, but because of their character and their treatment towards you and how their treatment towards you affected your well-being, you decided to put some distance there. Or maybe you actually had a fallout. You were like, you know what? This person is a snake. I want nothing to do with them. And I will forgive them, absolutely. But forgiveness does not necessarily mean that I don't see who you are. I still have to know you by your fruit. And so that's not you being paranoid. That's discernment. And in our previous video, we talked about how discernment protects your destiny. In this video, we're talking about how discernment helps you recognize monitoring spirits. And I'm going to lay out 3 ways that discernment helps you with that. And so when we talk about monitoring spirits, I'm not talking about living in fear, assuming everybody is against you, being paranoid. No. We're talking about people who are overly intrusive, people who you sense are envious and they want to get the intel so that they can have something to weaponize against you. We're talking about people who don't respect boundaries, even when you have made it exceedingly and abundantly clear. People who try to gather private information on you for the wrong reasons, and you were just living your life. So we're not talking about a person who's a little curious. We're talking about a person who's calculating. We're not talking about a person who's just being friendly. We're talking about a person who is being monitoring towards your life. And here's the thing. Even if the person is just being friendly and it doesn't align with your level of boundaries, you are allowed to stick to your boundaries, even if someone is asking questions that you don't feel comfortable answering and they are just being friendly. They don't get to decide your value system and how you're going to live your life. Just like there are people who are open books, and that's fine for them. That works for them. And they will share everything about their lives, even to the point of oversharing at the job. That's how that individual chooses to live. But perhaps you choose to be more private, and that is your choice. And while you can respect their choice to share, just because someone tells you all of the ins and outs and private details of their life, especially if you didn't ask, and then tries to demand that you do the same, and when you don't, try to make you feel like you are being a bad person because you are more private, that is somebody who's being manipulative, even though it's subtle, because they're not respecting your boundaries. And when someone can't respect your boundaries on the most basic, subtle level, it only grows worse over time. So discernment is going to help you see the difference. So number 1, discernment helps you recognize when a person's heart is not with you. So you'll meet people who know how to say the right things, but that don't mean their heart is with you. They'll compliment you. Girl, you are wearing that dress. Girl, I love those shoes. Where'd you get the pocketbook from? They'll compliment you. They'll encourage you. They will even show up to come to the things that you're doing. And on the surface, it may look like they're showing up to celebrate your wins. But there are some people who show up so that they can learn your secret sauce. There are some people who show up so that they can study you. So you got to know the difference. And you'll know because something over time begins to feel off. And by off, it can be that you feel overwhelmed when you're around them. You feel inundated when you're around them. Maybe you feel drained. You feel pressured to share details of your life that you normally don't feel comfortable sharing. And a lot of times when you're dealing with a monitoring spirit, one of their this is straight from the Playbook, is they will divulge information about themselves so that you feel indebted to divulge information about yourself, and you don't even know if what they're telling you is true. So they may be making up a trauma to get you to feel indebted to talk about things that were traumatic to you. And maybe those are things that you just want to talk about in a therapy session with your therapist, or some sort of introspective practice that you are working through, but you don't want to share that with your coworker or your neighbor. And you have the right to keep what you deem private. And so discernment picks up on what words try to hide, what words and surface level politeness tries to hide. Jesus addressed this in Matthew 15:8 when he said, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. And so discernment's going to let you know when somebody's honoring you with your lips, they talk a good game, they say all the right things, but baby, their heart ain't with you. Now here's the context. Jesus was speaking to the Pharisees, religious leaders who look righteous on the surface. They said the right things, followed religious practices, presented themselves as spiritual, but their heart was not aligned with God because of how they treated people. So Jesus exposed the disconnect between what they were saying and who they truly were. And that's the same principle that discernment shows you in your life when you're dealing with people. So you will meet people who will honor you with your lips, honor you with their lips, but their hearts are not with you. And you gotta recognize that, because that is one of the ways that a narcissist will get you to bypass your own discernment, because in the love bombing, he or she is honoring you with their lips. They're saying all the right things. They're complimentary. They're doting on you. They're being very attentive, giving you a lot of attention, being very complimentary. But baby, flattery, according to the Bible, spreads a net for one's feet, because flattery is not the same as a sincere compliment. Flattery is insincere praise, often coupled with a hidden agenda. And so you got to recognize that, because people can speak well, act supportive, appear like they are for you when they are not. Discernment will reveal, is their heart truly with me, or are they just saying the right things because there's a benefit attached to me? Or are they saying the right things because they are trying to fatten me up for the kill, so to speak? And that's the old saying that when when a farmer is fattening up the animals, and the animals think they're eating good and that they've got it made, not realizing that they're being fattened up for the slaughter. And so when you're dealing with a person who is fattening you up to slaughter you, mentally, emotionally, financially, you got to be able to recognize when their lips are saying the right things, but they're hypocritical, they're fake. You got to realize that. So discernment's going to help you with that. 2, discernment helps you identify when someone's gathering information for the wrong reasons. Everyone who's asking a question about your life is not a person who is concerned about your well-being and wants to be there as a support and an ally to you. And you got to recognize that. Now, there are some people who are going to check on you because they love you. So you got to discern that too. They love you. They care. They can sense when something is off, and they truly want to help you. And you want to be open to that help when it's sincere and from God, because God works through people. But there will also be monitoring spirits who are fishing for details. They're not trying to be there for you as a tried and true loyal friend. This is a person who's trying to stay updated on your life, even though they're no longer in your life. So this could be the friend that you caught, or the ex-friend, gossiping about you, talking trash, maybe even lying, telling bold-faced lies that weren't true, or spreading all your personal business because it was always that secret animosity, that hidden resentment towards you, and you found out. And now they're upset because they can't be in your life in a direct way to be able to measure their life against yours, and to be able to have negative things to say about you. And so they try to collect intel from a distance. They stay watching your social media page. They stay asking people how you're doing, but they're really not interested in, again, being a support to you. They're hoping to hear some bad news about you, or even if they hear the successes, they want to think about how they can throw mud on your success. You got to be alert to that. They're looking for information that they can later misuse, twist, or throw mud on, so to speak. And especially people you created distance from. This is big, because when a person has a controlling spirit, a narcissistic spirit, a monitoring spirit, and they no longer have access to you, they become very upset. They become entitled and resentful. But what discernment will do for you is it will allow you to pause and to ask, why do they need access to this information? Why do they need to know this about me? Why are they asking that about me? And if you struggle with people pleasing, you're going to struggle with setting this boundary. And so the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 2:11 not to be unaware of the enemy's schemes. And so here's the context. The Apostle Paul is warning believers not to be outmaneuvered or taken advantage by the enemy, because Satan is the architect of evil, right? Satan is the orchestrator of evil, but people are the vessels, are the instruments, right? Satan uses people to steal, kill, and destroy. John 10:10 says the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Christ comes so that we may have life and have life more abundantly. And one of the ways that the enemy steals, kills, and destroys, particularly from believers, or at least attempts to, is by utilizing people to do so. You got to recognize that. And so Paul, within this context, is telling believers not to be ignorant. You don't have the luxury of being naive. You got a destiny. You have a calling on your life. You have a light to shine. And you can't be naive about people who don't mean you any good. You can't overlook the subtle tactics in terms of how monitoring spirits operate. You got to pick up on that, because this applies to people. Discernment helps you recognize patterns, motives, and behaviors so that you're not easily taken advantage of or caught off guard, because sometimes the scheme isn't obvious, it's subtle. Again, it's like the person who is a gossiping spirit and they share some information about their lives that feels private, that feels like you're being let in, and you don't even know if what they're sharing, number one, is true. They could be making it up. They could be making up a trauma because they're trying to get you to reveal aspects of your life that they haven't earned. They haven't earned the right to know that information about you because you haven't tested that spirit. You don't know nothing about them. But if you are easily deceived and you feel indebted, well, she did tell me about her marriage. He did tell me about his financial situation. So it's only right that I should. No. He chose that. You didn't put a gun to his head or her head and make them do that. So don't let anybody manipulate you, because a lot of times it's very subtle. You got to recognize that. And then third, discernment guides you to protect your information and your boundaries. And so once discernment shows you something, the next step is to utilize applied knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So discernment is going to show you what it is in the spirit realm, right? But then you got to take the next step and you got to apply that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So discernment will show you, this person is not really for you. You might not know they're a monitoring spirit. You might not have the exact language. None of that is really what's going to make the difference. What's going to make the difference is discernment is going to just let you know that you need to pause and pull back. Not be mean, not be nasty, pause and pull back. So discernment is going to show you that. And then when you pause and pull back and you are spending time with God in prayer, the next step is to apply that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So is God showing you that this person is manipulative, and you have to apply the knowledge of knowing that a person is manipulative so that you know how to maneuver yourself when you're in the same vicinity. Because sometimes you can't just disconnect from a person, like a coworker who's sitting right next to you that you have to engage because you're working on a client portfolio together. You will have encounters where you have to interact, but you have to do so with wisdom. So discernment doesn't just reveal, because a lot of people stop at the revelatory stage. Discernment doesn't just reveal. This is why it must be trained. The book of Hebrews tells you to train your powers of discernment. Discernment is a gift from the Holy Spirit, but it is also a power that has to be trained so that it can grow. So discernment doesn't just reveal what is not visible, it instructs. It will instruct you to be silent. Don't say another word. It'll instruct you to be careful. Watch what you say around her or him. It'll instruct you to not let your guard down around a particular person, and you're not paranoid, but around this particular person, you know what? I need to be 5 steps ahead of them. It'll instruct you to not overshare, to limit access, to reinforce your boundaries, even when you get pushback. Because a monitoring spirit, a controlling person, a narcissist will not only attempt to overstep the boundary, but when you reinforce the boundary, they will attempt to push back. And then when they push back, you gotta strengthen that boundary. You can't waver. It will instruct you to stay private about certain aspects of your life. So discernment doesn't just reveal. The majority of believers stop at the revelatory stage. It doesn't just reveal, it's going to instruct. And sometimes it will instruct you not to say what you know. That you know a person is a snake, but you are in a situation where it is not wise for you to put that out there. But you just need to keep that in the back of your mind so that you know how to be as wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove when that person is in the same room as you. So keep that in mind. Jesus says in Matthew 10:16, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be as wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove. And here's the context. Jesus is sending his disciples out into everyday environments where everyone's not going to be receptive to them. He's preparing them to deal with opposition, with resentment, with deception, with outright hostility. He tells them, be alert, be wise, be strategic, but at the same time, don't lose your integrity. Don't lose your integrity. And that's what discernment helps you to do. Because you become wise about who has access to you. So in closing, discernment is not about fear, it's about clarity. It helps you recognize when something is off. It helps you see beyond surface level behavior, including when someone leads with performative niceness and social politeness. Someone can be socially polite, performatively nice, and hate your guts. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't mince my words because I want believers to walk in strong knowledge. It will protect you from unnecessary interference from the enemy so that you're not giving the enemy a foothold, not even being aware that you gave him a foothold. Sometimes we give people a foothold, right? We know Satan, again, is the architect of evil, the orchestrator of evil, but he uses people. They're the instruments. That's the vessel. So when you are discerning, it's going to protect you from certain things because you might have somebody who is trying to get you to divulge certain information about yourself, and your discernment will tell you, don't share that with them. So do know that everyone who asks about you is not necessarily for you. And everyone who wants access to you is not necessarily assigned and aligned with you. So keep that in mind. So if this spoke to you, take a moment and pray. Ask God to strengthen your discernment, to help you recognize what's not aligned and assigned, to give you the wisdom to respond in the right way. And remember, discernment doesn't just reveal, it instructs. So it's going to show you, but it's your responsibility to act on what you know and what the Holy Spirit shows. So with this, a couple of things I want to let you know about. We got some exciting things coming up. Every Sunday, you can join us for church by phone. Sundays, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can come in your pajamas because we can't see you. And you will have a good time in the Word. If you want to know more, visit our ministry website, CassandraMacMinistries.com. You can find out all the details for church by phone and join us on Sundays. All the information is on the website. 2, join the Wellness Club if you want deeper dives. If you want an opportunity to ask questions, all that happens in the Wellness Club. Join the Wellness Club. It's the best investment you can make. The Wellness Club is one of the tiers here of YouTube membership, where we focus on mental self-care, emotional self-care, spiritual self-care, all through a biblical lens, and it is way, way, way cheaper than therapy. You can't even compare. For less than a cup of coffee a day, you have access to the Wellness Club. When you think about therapy can cost you an upwards of $200 to $300 to $400, depending on where you live, for just one session. The Wellness Club offers you a group coaching call. It's not therapy, but it is therapeutic. So it offers you a group coaching therapeutic call, focusing again on self-care, but mental self-care, emotional self-care, spiritual self-care through a biblical lens. So if you're interested, you're going to see the link to become a member of the channel. There are 3 tiers. So shout out and thank you to the channel supporters. We're so grateful for you here. Shout out to the Blessed Life Club. We're so grateful for you. And then you'll see the Wellness Club. But most of you ask about how do you access the phone call, the conference call. That happens by being a Wellness Club member. And the thing is, if you can't attend the live calls because of your schedule, you get access to the replay as a Wellness Call member so that you're still getting that teaching, those deep dives. You're hearing from other Wellness Club members by way of the questions that they're asking and the tips and the strategies that they share. You still get access to that as a Wellness Club member. So I would encourage you, and it's a great way to support this ministry if this ministry is a blessing to you. Last but not least, I want to make sure that you know about our 21-day Activating the Full Armor of God challenge. So that challenge is starting on June 1st, 2026. We're starting our Activating the Full Armor of God challenge. We're working from my new workbook that'll be coming out in about a week. Once it's out, I'll post all the information. And it is a challenge where you are learning how to not just know about the armor of God, but how do you actually put it on and activate it in your daily life, piece by piece and situation by situation. So it's a tactical training manual for strength, strategy, and victory. And we're all starting the same day. So that's what makes it corporate. We're starting June 1st for those who are interested. If you want more than the guidebook, so it is self-led, meaning everything you need to know to activate the full armor of God is contained in the workbook. Each workbook is organized into days, day 1, day 2, and it gives you the strategy for the day, the mission for the day, the activity for the day, the questions for the day, the activities for the day. So everything's contained in the workbook. But if you want additional guidance, I would encourage you to become a member of the Wellness Club, because in the Wellness Club, we're going to be doing additional guidance videos as companion videos for the Activating the Full Armor of God book. And again, we start the challenge June 1st, and the book will be out before the end of this month, before the end of April. So just stay tuned, and I will put up the information once the book is available. So God bless you. If this video was a blessing, share the video, hype the video. Let's grow this channel. I know with your support we can do that. So often it's the negativity and the drama that grows, and not the things that help us in our daily lives. So let's help this channel grow. I know we can with your support. If you're a member of the Wellness Club, if you're a member of the Blessed Life Club, let us know in the comments how has being a member of either of those clubs been a blessing to you. What are you getting out of those clubs? What's your favorite thing about the clubs? Let us know in the comments. So God bless. Take care of yourselves. Let's do our best to be kind, but let's also take our common sense and our discernment with us.